Phoenix here. 2 kilowatts, 2.3 kilowatts, KVA peak. Got 110 volts here, 120 say. Run on propane. This is the regulator. Comes direct from the high pressure. The Dixie valve. This is the carburetor area. Now if I kink this, it's going to stop. Leaking hose. So the normal configuration, the regulator is over here, goes through this hole, and some of the units when they ship these, the hose would collapse under here, and what would happen is it would either be hard to start or they wouldn't run. Okay, the stock configuration has a regulator on the frame. There's a hole through the air cleaner, and it has a sharp 90-degree bend. So there's a kink right here. And when I got this, it would run sometimes and not other. If you hit this, you can hear that. There would be enough gas to force through the kink and it would start. This is the air intake. And then after it started, it would stutter and stop. And that's because goosing this and letting some, this is what they call a prime. It's letting some, pushing in the regulator, letting some gas in there, basically like a choke, effectively letting an extra amount of gas in there to get this to start. And that kink there is probably because it sat in a warehouse before it was sold. And then what it'll do is it'll run either for a little while and stop, or it may just not start. So that's what the purpose of this video is, to show. What you can do to fix that is you can put in 90 degrees. Here I've made this out of a piece of 3/8 inch tubing that goes through the hole. Another thing, you can get a 90-degree barb. This is one from Home Depot, but it had a 3/8 inch fitting on it, so I cut this off with a hacksaw, so it's a 90-degree barb. You might be able to find one at an auto parts store for mission controls, but that'll work to go in here. So you've got a straight section here and a straight section out. There's really not, there's a little bit to grab there in the tube. This has actually got a little bit more sweeping curve, probably get a little bit more airflow through there. But when I first bought this unit, I got this from Family Go-Karts, and it's a great unit, but I just had a hard time starting it. And they mentioned you had to run it on gas. This has actually never been run on gas before, but the whole problem was this kink, and it's kind of insidious because hitting that like that actually makes the you can hear that. It forces it past the kink. This is like a hernia, an intestine here. So you've got this kink, and it's inside the air cleaner, so you don't see it. This whole air cleaner assembly goes on here like this. So this is buried down in here. And what happened is I undid this, got it to run, put it back, and it wouldn't run. Only unless you hit this, which didn't make any sense, and I discovered the hose was kinked. So putting in a piece of tubing in here, it's just the 90-degree bend. This Venturi is an add-on piece I have here on the end of the carburetor, so this can be used for gasoline too. It's got a gasoline tank. And this has actually never been run on gasoline. This is an older unit. It's got 125 hours, 2006. That's 11 years old. Phoenix. Now the air cleaner here, when it goes on, of course that label's going to be up. This feature here goes into that. And that's really the only way this will go on. Like this. So the hole down there is got too much, not enough space. Okay, I'm restarting again this hole. When this is clamped in place, the tube hits it. It's just a few millimeters away, so that's kind of a crummy design. It looks like they just went ahead and took a regular air cleaner and punched a hole in there. So what I'll probably need to do is rethink this and put the hole more over here, so there's less of a, I can get my 90-degree bend in there of this gizmo, because this is just, there's no space. And that's why this unit probably has always had some problems with the stock, is they've got the tube's got to be horrendously bent just to stick in there. I'm hitting the piece right there. It's only about quarter of an inch, which is kind of a stupid design. So pull off the air cleaner. This piece is actually hitting this, so it's actually hitting right into this piece here. So the tube is actually going through here, this back section. I've always run this thing without of it and just put a makeshift air filter over here, and it just there you go, that goes on here like this. So the holes punch them. Maybe they punched the holes wrong at the factory. That's just a crude hole. Maybe it probably should be about right here. There's actually space over here. There's no reason why not to put it there. It's more in a line. You can actually turn this where you want to. So putting the hole right here would be a much better thing to do. And then I can put the 90-degree piece. And that's all behind this. The plane of this right here is across this flange. Now, this thing kind of invades that space a little bit. But this actually can be lifted up. There's no reason why that can't be like that. So the hole probably should be about up here. And put the 90-degree in there like that. And of course I can lift up this piece and put a longer bolt. Have this line up over here. And it's got a little bit of clearance on here. In fact, I could put this anywhere I want to. Just put a longer hose. I still got the gas on, so you can hear it. The gas is, it's the prime. So the way this works is when it's running, it pulls a little bit of the Venturi action through here, because this is neck down. It's a set of holes here. Draws a slight vacuum on here, and then it pulls this diaphragm in, and then it lets the flow that it needs of gas. And then this is the mixer that you use to kind of fine-tune the engine, the air to fuel ratio. But this thing has always been a little bit aggravating. I was wondering if anybody else has got one of these in the web. I wonder if this hole is, mine is just, they punched it in the wrong place, but it just, the whole thing is kind of a jackass in the sense that this huge kink that was in here like this is why it's always had some issues. I mean, it just has a horrendous kink in here. This is just like this. It was like that from the factory. I mean, it's just goofball engineering. Not engineering, it's just bad practice. And stuff like that happens. So you punch a hole through here. Either use a T. I need to see if I can get one that's an emissions. That'll actually work. It's got enough engagement. Or even this big sweeping piece. Have it stick way out. And this was bent with an HVAC bender. It's got a little bit of a kink there. I have to move this back some. Let's see if it'll start. Running two lanes. I cheated and shot some ether in there. Now it's dry. Starting fluid to get it going. This isn't set just right. What'll happen will be kind of touchy to start. Reduce it some. Some of these are kind of sensitive also to, like this. This guy actually takes the full pressure. No, it's got the full 60, 80, 100 pounds or whatever's on this, down to just ounces. One big loop. The load of this dumb thing. I've actually run this thing without that for a long time. And I've run up sometimes with filter to put on here, something like that. Once you put a filter on there, you'll have to adjust to it. So if you got some pressure on there, goes through that foam there like that. And you have to adjust on here. And when you get the filter on here, if it's got too much restriction, then you can't get an ether in there to jump it off. So I almost want to put a different type of air filter on here. Easy to get out. Set it off this way, see what happens. It's off. See how long it runs. Less chance it'll backfire when you do that. Every now and then it'll backfire.